I kind of liked this idea of two shows that are kind of about very similar things, but from wildly different perspectives. So we're going to be talking about both of which are FX shows. Dave, which came out this year, and Atlanta, which ran from 2016 to 2018, I believe, or 17 to 18, I believe. So Dave is a show that came out recently, created by the rapper Lil Dicky, also known as Dave Bird, who he came up from kind of a wealthy suburb outside of Philadelphia, a white rapper. And the show is about people not really taking him seriously, despite the fact that he is legitimately talented, but kind of no one really is willing to take him seriously as an artist and as a rapper. And on the other hand, we have Atlanta, which is created by Donald Glover, who goes by the name Childish Gambino in his musical career. And that is more about the very poor people of Atlanta who do not have a lot of opportunities, kind of given almost no other option, or at least they don't see any other option than going into rap. And it is kind of like, the difference I wanted to make was you're looking at the same industry, but one is from a point of privilege and one is from a point of we don't really have a lot of options here. And what's interesting,
a prime example of that is in the first episode, which is
yes.
we watched both of the first episodes of each show to prepare for this. Dave's big problem is that he wired over $10,000 to YG's manager, and he's worried about them coming through on the favor for the $10,000. I guess it's not a favor if you're paying $10,000.
Exactly.
But my point is, and then you have on the other spectrum with Atlanta, he's worried about how he's essentially going to be able to walk into a building.
Yes.
And it's just like, it's just a funny...
It's very different because basically, you
couldn't even dream about $10,000.
Yeah. Donald Glover's character, couldn't even dream about $10,000. So the fact that Dave has $10,000...
Exactly.
To start, the fact that Dave was able to get into the building is a start.
Yeah.
So when you have a show that the premise is basically he's trying to be taken seriously, I get that, Dave is obviously more of a comedy, and it's supposed, it's... You understand that this is a person from privilege and that he is kind of a goofy character. But when you watch Dave in comparison to Atlanta, it's like, that's not an actual problem.
Yeah, of course. I mean, not only is it not a problem, it's like you have $10,000 to spend on one verse. Like,
right.
The one thing I'll give him credit for is he's not trying to portray himself as something he's not.
No,
that's the one thing. And just for some history here, maybe Greg will get mad at me for saying this, but our history of Lil Dicky is generally, Greg has shown me some of his YouTube videos while he's very drunk, and he's like, yo, this is awesome.
I wouldn't say he's awesome. I would say he's funny. I think he's funny.
You very much enjoy it.
I enjoy it. Well, I enjoy the show. I have a problem with the general message.
I'm just giving background in terms of him as an artist. And to be honest, I've never really liked him. I found him to be wildly corny and all this other stuff. I have no problem saying that he's very clearly gifted with putting words together.
Right, and when we see that a few times in the show, that he is talented. He can rap.
He can.
But it's the main message of he wants people to take him seriously as a rapper. When, first of all, you are a comedy rapper and you decided to do that. Second of all, you know that you are a privileged white person, and you are coming into a music industry that was created by black people, and you know who you are. So the fact that like you are trying to be taken seriously and like that's your issue is not really something like I can really feel bad for. I don't know if that's kind of what the show is getting at.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know how much they're really trying to say that this is an issue. I think it's more like it's a goofy show.
Yeah.
It's something you turn on and you laugh for 20 minutes.
It's really not very deep at all.
And it's not very deep compared to Atlanta, where it is extremely deep. And while Donald Glover was always funny, specifically like earlier in his career. Like, I don't know if you watched Community.
No. I know you loved it. Right?
Well, Community was great. He's hilarious. He's one of the funniest parts on the show. Even like earlier Childish Gambino songs,
are whack.
You would think so?
Absolutely. 3005. That song fucking can go die in a fire.
Okay,
that song's horrible.
Okay, well, what I was trying to say was there's a sillier and there's a funnier aspect to his early, because you listen to something from his
cornier.
Yeah. Well, if you listen to some of his earlier songs and then you listen to one of his newer songs like Redbone or
great tune,
or This Is America,
obviously
it feels like it's two entirely different artists.
Essentially.
While Atlanta, there's definitely a lot of comedy aspects to it. It's definitely a deeper look into who these characters are and the fact that they really don't see any other option. They're just financially, the fact that they're living basically in poverty in Atlanta. The character Earn, he has a daughter, but his job, it really isn't enough to take care of his daughter. He's kind of living off his like kind of girlfriend,
very
who's
strange,
the mother of his kids, in a very
You have they're sleeping in the same bed, yet they're not together. Yet they have a child together. Yet she's dating someone else. It's very.
They have,
and I understand people have children and are not together. That's not what I'm saying is weird. I'm saying if you see the show, they're kind of like sleeping in the same bed and cuddly, and
so
then she's going out on a date with. It's just
throughout the series, they never really specify their relationship.
Right.
And that's something that's throughout the entire series of like, they have a kid together. Sometimes they're together. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they have an open relationship. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they don't want them dating other people. Sometimes they're only together for appearances. There's a scene. There's one episode where the girlfriend's name is Van, where Earn goes with Van to visit her family, and she's like, you have to pretend like we are together because my family doesn't know that, you know, we kind of have this open relationship or wishy-washy relationship or whatever.